welcome to Misfit Mama Show, where I show amazing mompreneurs like you how to do the work once, get paid for it forever, and get prospects and recruits coming to you. I figured out how it's done, and I'm here to show you the way. If a would-be felon who is scared of everything can figure this stuff out, you can, because you are way more talented, way more gorgeous, and way more brave than me. Let's get to it. How do you do, Misfit Mom? Great to see you. How is everything happening in your world? Man, I can't help thinking this is a very one-sided conversation. I ask you a question and I don't get a response. Man, feeling kind of lonely out here. Feeling kind of one-sided. Love it. Love it. The wonderments of podcasting. So today we're going to talk about some sales. This is Coach Spiegel here, by the way. In case you don't know, I'm world's most enthusiastic coach / trainer. Might be tied for first. I know some people that are probably tied with me, but I know I'm up there, okay? Enthusiastic coacher of misfit moms, mompreneurs in the network marketing space that would rather not bug their friends and family. That would rather have people come to them. They'd rather sit down for a presentation. They know they got a better than 50% chance of closing. And they're not attached to the outcome, whether it's a yes or no. They don't really care. And they would actually, perfect world, they'd actually not even be sitting down for that closing presentation. They'd rather just get that little chime on their iPhone. The ding, you got a sale. Like, oh, cool. They're out to lunch with their friends. They're talking about the weather. They're talking about the Packers. They're talking about, oh, do you think Aaron Rodgers will come back? Do you think Aaron Rodgers, what do you think? Does Aaron Rodgers need a new girlfriend? And they're going to be talking to each other. Hey, nice shoes. Those are some nice shoes that you have. Wow, they are so pretty. Hang on. I got a semi trying to. There we go. Okay. I had totally had the right of way. I was going through sort of a roundabout thingy, and I totally had the right of way, but I wasn't sure if this big old semi was going to. This big old semi is trying to throw his weight around, and I was going to go ahead and let him win his throwing a weight around thing, because that's, even though technically I'm in the right, I'm not want to be around to get smooshed by a semi. So anyways, you see, you're talking about the shoes, you're talking about the Packers, all that, and you get a ding. You look down your phone, you just made a sale. You're like, cool. I have no idea where that came from. I'll check down that later, but apparently somebody over in Louisiana likes my thingy and bought it. What's the product? In case you don't know how that works, like you're wondering, like, hey, how do you do that? How do you? I'm with XYZ MLM product. We can't automatically set that all up. How do I do all that? Good question. You actually don't set it all up through your MLM world, your network marketing world. It's actually your product. Your product, my love. They're buying you. Something you. Nothing against your MLM product. I want them buying you first. Buying your creation, buying your course, buying your product, buying your ebook, buying your training series, buying your videos, buying your DVDs, buying your music. Sell some music. Try it. Other people are doing it. And then at the back end, you say, hey, you bought this to get after this result that you're after. Let's see where my MLM product fits into this. And boom, you do it. People have been doing that for years. And all of a sudden, I fell into this MLM space here. Literally, I kind of fell into it. Sort of fall into it. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I built up a couple online businesses, and it's been going really fun. I've failed at a whole bunch more than I've actually been successful at. And I'm like, wait a second. Why is your upline not teaching you this stuff? Just basic marketing type stuff. So I'm up there. I would go toe to toe whoever wants to go with me. World's most enthusiastic trainer for you for this stuff about marketing. This marketing stuff. Oh, I love it. Branding's kind of in there, but no. That's a big debate later. So, all right, let's talk about sales. Just in case you got yourself a live presentation. You can't go wrong being too good at sales. It's one of those skills that's like transferable for everything. I just used my sales skills 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to get my niece to get her socks on, to get her pajamas off, get her church clothes on, and get her old socks off. I finally thought I sealed the deal. I finally closed her, and she's walking around with her church clothes on, and now I gotta put on her socks. And I gotta go right back to doing the sales skills. Man, it motivated me. It fired me up to write a whole book all about that. I'm gonna write a whole book. I'm like, how I learned if you can get a 2-year-old to get her socks on, and she doesn't want to, you got all the makings of being a bombastic salesperson, to be a bombastic business owner. I should say business owner, because if you can't really be good in business if you're not good at sales. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's why I'm saying, like, you can cover a lot up, but eventually you're going to come face to face with the sale, especially if you're doing it for yourself. Either it's going to be you making the sale through your digital you, like on video, or the words that come out of your brain when you're typing them up and they're reading your sales letter. And what's going to happen is when you got this fear going on, and I've been there, I'm going to help you get through that, this fear going on, this limiting belief, this feeling of like, I'm not worth it, this feeling of I'm dumb, they're going to think it's stupid, they're going to think I'm salesy, they're going to think, oh, I'm just in this for the money and I want to ask for money. I'd rather just give them to it for free. I'd rather just train them for free. I'd just rather transform their lives for free. Like, why do I got to bring money into it? We'll talk about all that later, okay? Today I just want to give you a really huge sales tip. Like, could be the best tip ever. Where even if you're closing skills and the world of sales, let me give you another tip here. There is sales and then there's closing. They are very two distinct things. Sales is everything. Sales is kind of wrapped into this marketing world as well. Closing deserves its own category. I've followed a lot of like Grant Cardone. If you want to be really good at Grant Cardone, the only love Grant Cardone. His books are awesome. Sell or Be Sold is probably one of the best. It's up there, okay, as far as the best sales books of all time. I have yet to find. I'll continue looking. Oh, the one I just got is amazing. Oh, what one did I just get? I can't remember the name of it. It's really good. It's really, really good. But again, it just kind of deals with like when you're actually in the presentation, when you're actually like sitting down. There's a lot of sales books, to be honest with you. And I'm still kind of looking for this one. Brain farting. I'm sorry, Misfit. Brain fart. And this one is like does really, really. You can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar. Yes, nailed it. Yes, that is a great sales book. Get the audiobook if you don't want to do it. Here's what I recommend to you when you're thinking about doing books. You should be doing books. You should be doing books like no other. Get the audio version too. Go get audible.com. I don't have a link anywhere. Otherwise, I'd ask that you sign up through me, and I get a little percentage of that, and I'll just take that, and I'll just put it back into the business to help out more misfit moms, to be honest with you. I believe I have a link yet. I keep meaning to sign it up. And anyways, go to Audible, just get your sign up account. It's like $15 a month, which is dirt cheap, and they give you a free book each month, and they give you a credit each month, so it's like they're giving you money. It's so crazy. It's so crazy cool. Amazon's just so brilliant. I want to know if there's a way that you can work that into your business. What Amazon just did right there. Saying, hey, you give us $15 a month, and we'll give you a credit towards this. And that credit could be redeemed. There's stuff in Audible I bought for like $50. It was a $50 audiobook. I'm like, sweet, I just made $35. It kind of forces you to learn, which is I'm very, very cool with. The government's been doing that for years, and it's been working out pretty good. If you don't believe me, just ask your kids, do you want to go to school? And no. Too bad. And literally, like, you don't let your kids go to school. If you don't force your kids to go to school, you're going to get arrested, Mom. How nutsos is that? So let's take a quick little break. Let's take a quick little break. Let's hear a little word from our sponsors. Let's go pay some bills. That's what Dave Chappelle would always say. Hey, just, I am working on my ahs and I have kind of things that I say all the time. I promise I'm working on them. So let's take a quick little commercial break. In the words of Dave Chappelle, let's go pay some bills, and I'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
And cue awesome music. Yeah, that's right. Get you a little fired up, Mom Warrior. Get you a little going. Get it going a little bit here. And this here is what is called a mid-roll, quote-unquote, ad or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of a break. You'll hear other podcasters will be like, let's go take a break. And some of them will be pushing other people's products. Some of them will be pushing their own products. This is the thing that I want you to learn. Think of the shows out there that you watch. Think of growing up, the radio stations you listen to. Can you give me any one reason why you don't have your own show where you actually talk about the stuff that you want to talk about, where you actually educate and teach and coach your ideal market? This teaching can take the place of a video, it can take the place of a podcast, it can take the place of a video on Facebook, a video on YouTube, wherever it is. And now you have yourself a platform. Now you have yourself an audience. So it's one of the principles I teach you doing this just right here that it just changes the game for you. And I show you how to do it. I believe that's day one. Day one of your free ABM course. Go to freeabmcourse.com. And there it's day one. That's day one. Totally changes your life and your landscape in the world. And that's just day one. You got 4 more days. Free little 5-day teaching you the 5 essentials of what it is to be attraction-based marketer, an ABMer. So it's going to, so that you don't have to bug friends and family anymore, so that you can create a little time freedom, so you can go not miss any of your games. You're a busy mom. People should be working around your schedule, not you fitting it around them. You work when you want. You're the mom warrior. You're the misfit mom warrior. You're calling the shots around here, so it's really cool to have a platform where that attracts everybody to you. So I show you how to do that all on day one there, and it just gets better from there. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just go freeabmcourse.com. Let's get back to the show. And we are back, Mr. Mom. So we're talking about, before we left off, Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. Love that. Love that book. Love the audible of it. If you love the audible of it, then that's what we're calling it from now. We're not calling it audiobooks. We're calling it audibles. So if you love the audible of it, then you go ahead and you buy the book, and you just let it be a companion source. And you just give me a break. I'm sure maybe you're sick of me yet. I don't know how you do it. I'd be sick of me by now. And then take a break from me, and then you go listen to lots of audibles, and then you buy the book of it. So that's an awesome one. That one, I'm still looking for a book that kind of branches all 3. That one did it, the 2 worlds of selling. There's just the actual technique stuff, like these are the words you use, this is the tonality you use. There's amazing books. There's amazing training courses all about that. Some of the best of the best of the best. And I am probably going to have to create it for you just to help you out, the Misfit Mom. Then the second form of it is like dealing with all the fear. Like people, like all those great courses, great books, they're like just kind of assume that person's just got their crap together when they're going into that sales presentation. I don't know about you, but I was like losing sleep the night before going into the sales presentation, and I was really, really bad at it. And I don't know how I got to be a success. I basically got to be a success by just reputation and just dumb luck. I've had how many clients just pass off to me. This is probably the top thing that prevented me from growth in the network marketing was this fact right here. Was I just didn't like selling. I just hate selling. And I just never bothered to get over it. Anyway, so never mind talking about myself. So that's the second form. It's just kind of like all your beliefs, all your money blocks, like all your success hiccups, all the shyness going on, that fear of asking for the sale, just the fear of selling. Just like, it's salesy. All that gets put into that presentation when you ask for the sale. If you drone on and on, the closer you get to the sale, the more you go on, and they give you like even a little bit of a no. You're like, oh, that's okay. At least I asked, Yes, that's cool. At least you asked. At least you faced that fear and you asked and you got the no. But then you never like followed up. You never bothered doing anything. Or it's like you were worried about it getting weird afterwards. Like you got a no from somebody and you're like, oh, my relationship with them is ruined now. All your hiccups with that word no. It dates all the way back to childhood when you're reaching up for that hot stove and your mom goes, no! And it's like all those feelings that are just wrapped up. Like what meaning you attach to that word no. When you get a rejection, when you get told negatory, like what's going on with you, everything after that. And that's what probably the top killer, the fear of rejection, is probably the top killer of success in business, in selling, in network marketing right there. And I created something to address that. I've talked to you about it before. It's the Health Coach Fight Club. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It kind of centers down. Never mind. I won't talk about that. We got to start talking about a sales tip here. How long are we into this? Quick sales tip. Not bad. 13 minutes. Cool. So anyways, then the third aspect of sales is just the marketing side, just kind of branching it. You want it to be like a nice seamless interaction where they go to the marketing side. And today with the internet and like the law of large numbers, like let's say you're talking to somebody. This is why I love the internet. And this is why I love like automating your stuff and automating your marketing, automating your selling. Like you literally create a robot, a salesperson robot that goes out and sells for you and never tires, never sleeps, never complains. It's like your greatest salesperson ever that you don't have to be there for. That's what I mean like when you create a sales video. That's what I mean when you create like a sales like a chat box, messenger bot in Facebook Messenger. You can actually create a bot in there. I'll show you how to do all that. That literally like you don't even have to be there for. You get the sale and somebody does the best job, does a better job of you of selling, and you just got to create it once and it just continues to work. Now, let's say that bot, let's say you create like a sales letter or a sales video. It's like works 24/7. It's like your greatest salesperson ever. Instead of going hire yourself a sales team, you just have yourself a robot, or you have yourself a webinar that just kind of runs. It's an automatic webinar, just kind of runs and runs and runs. And let's say you have 100 people that watch or that go through. Let's just go back to that robot. If I got a thinking suspicion that you like that idea, creating a robot that sells for you. I'm like, yes. As soon as I figured out that, I'm like, yes, dive in. I just became obsessed with that, with messenger bots. And there's another tool that I use as well besides messenger bots. You might have gone through it. We'll see if you got through it, where it just kind of, it works even better than if it was there in person. But for the most part, let's say it's a messenger bot, and let's say you have 100 people that get, that's like the presentation. Instead of you sitting there front to back and they got done watching the video, and then you're trying to close them, and you're trying to ask them their questions and closing questions, and you're doing trial closes, and you're doing future pacing, assuming you know all that, assuming that would be pretty awesome if you even know that. Most people just kind of wing it. Most people are like I was, where they just kind of, hey, did you watch the video? Okay. So you want to join? What do you think? They're like, nah, I don't think so. That was me. I didn't know what else to do. And I got a lot of theory. I got fed myself a lot of theory. You could probably relate. Whereas like, you gotta ask them this. Or it was like, you just gotta go out there and hustle more. It was either like, just walk them through it. I never really got like a clear cut, this is the specific steps. And that's what I kind of had to create. Nothing against uplines at all, but they're usually like really good at team building. They're really good at that. Not so good at like creating training materials. Not so good at a lot of ones that I've been part of. It was just kind of like sign you up and then, all right, good luck, here you go. And it was kind of left up to the company, and the company was like, was the training materials. Okay, send out this post on all your Facebook medias. Have fun. They don't teach you selling and marketing. They just don't. And the people that are like really, really good at selling are like really good at sellers of anything. I think of like my uplines. Okay, I'm getting off subject. Way off subject. Apologize. You're talking about something that's very passionate. I feel very passionate about, because when you get the sales stuff down, you get this marketing stuff down, Mom, you're just unstoppable. Like, I want you to take your MLM company to whatever level you want to take it, but more importantly, I want you to use these skills here to better the world. I want you to create something that betters the world. For example, there's she's not a client of mine, but I'm familiar with her. She's actually the client of one of my mentors, and she had an alcoholic addiction, and she went through like dozens of rehabs and all that, and they're just awful. And so she created something. It was just kind of like stuff that she was wishing that worked for her, and stuff that she discovered. Oh, actually, I do have a client. I'm sorry, I do have a client. He was not in the alcoholic world. He was actually in the meth using world, and he created a company, a business. He just created his own product. A lot of the stuff I'm just kind of teaching you, and I got to check in on him. I don't know how good it's doing, but I was actually sober for an entire year, which in the meth world and the hard drug use is like unheard of. Like, if they last a day, they're pretty good. He lasted years, and then he's back at it. And I'm like, hey, how'd you do that? Is there other people that would benefit from knowing what you know? I'm like, you package that up, you do a training series, you lead a class, you package that up, you create a package around that, like your own program. This is his name is Joe, Joe's version of how to do it. And you ask people to buy it for like $50, or if it's a DVD, like $20. I'm like, whatever you want to sell it for. You know, if it's digital versions, it's usually in that $20 like $300 range, and if it's more on top of it, like if it's digital plus some one-on-one time or some one small group time, you usually up the prices there. But he created something that is actually benefiting the world. It's actually benefiting a community. He's helping people kick their addiction to drugs. It's just amazing. It's just awesome. And that's what I want for you, Misfit Mom. That's what I envision for you. And that doesn't happen. Like, he can create the greatest product ever, but if he doesn't know how to market it, put it so that other people can get attracted to it and see the value in it, and then you get to that point, selling is like the final fight, like say punching in a touchdown. It's like the final 99-yard line or the 1-yard line, and then it's like the final push in, boof. And the better your marketing, like the more, like if your marketing is really bad, it's like the ball starts at like your own 20-yard line, and you got to be like really good at the selling to like bring it all the way to punch it in. I'm talking like your side of 20. I don't know if you're familiar with football at all, but it's all like, never mind. We're getting off. Okay, so let me give you a really cool sales tip here. So the book I'll probably create for you and the program surrounding it, all around selling, is kind of branching those three. Like the actual selling, the actual words, the actual like script and the closing words you use and the follow up and you should say this when they say that, and I gotta check with my wife. Do you really have to check with your wife? And there's like the follow up questions like that. Grant Cardone is never mind. So that's the number two thing, and number two is like the fear of it, the fear of actual selling, which is probably about, I would say it's like 90% of it. The actual, like what I just told you, like where people have entire books and programs on, it's probably like 5%, whether you're going to be a success or not. The fear is probably about 90%, factors into whether you're going to be a success or not. And then, never mind, maybe 70%, and then you're probably about 20% of his marketing, and then your 10% is actual, 5 to 10% is probably actual, like closes, like your sales and closing skills. So, but anyways, here is a great tip. I don't see a lot of other people doing, bring it in, working it in, and that's kind of like everything leading up to the actual presentation. This is now more so like you are live in person there with them, and you are walking them through it. This helps out immensely. This was a little tip if you read the book, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster Ride by Darren Hardy, and there he has an entire chapter devoted to sales, and he gives us, the reader, some of the best tips I've ever heard, the best sales tips. It's outside of like an actual training program, of course, like the Sandler selling system. That's what he talks about in the Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. That one more so is like an actual program. But actual like tips that are in there, he talks about the tips in Darren Hardy's Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, and they're very, very good. And one of them he brings up, he tells the story about. He had this one guy that was like the greatest seller of real estate in the area there, and he was like a part of a team of like 5 people, and everybody's showing everybody the same apartments, everybody's showing everybody like the same houses, the same lofts, everything like that. And he had outsold the other 4 people in his team like combined, and they were all selling the same thing. It was just nuts. So Darren Hardy finally took him to lunch, and he says. And this is kind of sales 101 type stuff, but you can like really, really hone in and just build your entire presentation around this one fact. And you can kind of like suck at everything else. But if you go into it, this one huge bit of knowledge, this huge secret, like you're gonna probably win more than you lose. Just to be honest with you, just because people don't use this one, they make it all about them in the sales presentation, and. So the Darren Hardy, the sales tip that his buddy gave him, I think his name was like Jeff or something, sat him down, and Jeff was like, didn't want to give his secrets away. He was like very delirious, and finally enough prod and see what I mean by selling? Like, even when you're trying to get what you want, selling is like the way to go. The persuasion skill is just the way to go. So he states like, he goes, I don't actually sell. So the guy's selling this is the real estate guy now, the Jeff that he's talking. He's like, I don't actually sell garages. I don't actually sell bathrooms. I actually don't sell living rooms. I don't sell apartments. I don't sell lofts. He goes, for instance, he'll talk about the garages. He goes, I don't sell garages. I sell places to park their Porsche 911. He goes, I don't talk about the apartment. I talk about the nature, the bike trail that runs along with them so that they can go on their biking. He goes, I actually don't do any selling. He goes, so the first, in the beginning there, he just asks a whole bunch of questions. This is, if you're just really, really bad at selling like I was, and you just don't know where to start, but you're brave enough to line yourself up with people, go about it this way right here at Misfit Mom. If you haven't practiced, like, okay, I got to bring them to the presentation, and okay, what do I say? Like the actual, like word for word blueprint, like the closing blueprint. If you don't know any of that, just go with this right here, okay? Ask a whole bunch of questions, find out what's really, and you can never like overdo this too much, because this just comes across as you caring, and it helps a whole bunch if you actually do care. But ask a whole bunch of questions about them. Like, this really helps out. This is what one of the bases of attraction-based marketing is all your marketing assets. No, hold on. Let me. That's a long subject there. Let me not even bring marketing into this. Let's just keep it right to sales, okay? So just ask a whole bunch of questions all about them. Understand like what their values are. What is their hobbies? What's their interests? What are their importance? What's important to them? What's their beliefs? What's all this stuff that's going into it? Now, this is why it's big to like build that relationship first, because chances are you probably know all this already. And actually, we take it one step further where you actually design this. Like, you actually search out, let's take beliefs, for example. You actually search out somebody that's a Christian, somebody that's a Protestant. You actually search out somebody that is family-orientated. So that way, you structure your entire business around what's already important to somebody. A lot of times, we'll gather that intelligence. They call it the intelligence gathering phase. They'll gather that, and then they'll kind of like, almost like a wild card, their product into it. Well, just so you know, kind of like what Jeff was doing, what Darren Hardy's story was kind of telling you about. And that's basically it right there. Like, you just gather. I would rather you know all this stuff going into the presentation. Like, in the beginning, like, for the first, like, couple weeks upon knowing somebody, this is why they teach you to go after your warm market, because it's assumed that you're upline from your upline that you know all this stuff going into it, and then you're just supposed to be good at sales. So then they're just like, yeah, just find out what's important to them and just tell them like that. In a nutshell, it's like, find out what they want, and then give it to them. More importantly, find out what's important to them. Figure out where your product aligns with that. So is family important to them? Like, you start talking about your family type stuff. Is their car important to them? Is their truck important to them? Or is it the outdoors? How do they like to spend their time? What like sports are they into? Are they super into Packers? So let's say they're selling something, and you're like, let's say you're selling something. This is a very vague example here, but let's say you're selling something that's going to lower their blood pressure, but you understand that they are one of their dreams. Let's say they're a big Packer fan, and you start asking about the Packers, and you find out that they've never been to a Packer game. And you're like, and one of your weight loss products is, let's say, obviously they're losing weight, and they're losing weight, and then they're lowering their blood pressure. They're like, well, great. Hey, Jim, when you get to that Packer game that you're planning on going next year, you're going to have to walk up those stadium stairs, aren't you? Yeah. And wouldn't you rather, how sucky would that be if, because of your high blood pressure, if you weren't able to enjoy the game because you're so out of breath and you reach the top of the stairs and you're like, you weren't able to enjoy the game? That'd be pretty awful, wouldn't it? Jim's like, yeah, that would be. Great, when can we sign you up? Let's have that never happen. What do you say? Please don't say what you say. And then when he says, yeah, that'd be pretty bad, just say, yeah, tell me more about that, Jim. Why would that be pretty bad? What else? What's important to you about enjoying your Packer game? Or it can just be something that they do on a weekly basis. They're watching Packers on a weekly. I'm like, so when Aaron Rodgers throws a touchdown, and you want to be excited, you want to jump up, right? But you're hanging on this extra 50 pounds. You want to jump up and excited, whoop, whoop! You want to get cheery-eyed. You want to get cheery and high-five your brethren, your buddies at the bar there, but you don't even got the energy to get up off your couch. Align everything with that. And then just after that point, be like, yeah, you're right. Right, Jim? Just get you started. Sounds like you're ready to join. If you just memorize like 2 things like that. So, Jim, if this got you starting to feel better, when would you want to start experiencing that weight loss? When do you want to start experiencing that lower blood pressure? When are you experiencing that more energy? Well, right now. Great. Let's get you going. What's your best address? Start saying them up. Well, right now. Great. Sounds like you're ready to join. Yes. Yes, I am. Boom. And you just tell them to go to their website if you're talking on the phone, or just take the order down yourself, and you just be an order taker at that point. But just align everything with it. If they give you a statement like that, let me give you one last tip. If they give you a statement like that, like, yeah, I never thought about it like that, you just say, so if all this did was lower your blood pressure, got you some energy to hop up when Aaron Rodgers throws that touchdown, made you excited, not feel like you didn't take away your joy of those Packer games because you didn't want to push yourself too hard because you might have a heart attack. You know, if they got heart attacks with that run in the family, I got one client, Miss It Mom. She's got 10 brothers and sisters. She's got herself, a brother, and a sister. I think it's just the brother, to be honest with you. Shoot, I should ask her. But they all got killed by heart attacks. They all died. Heart attacks. Heart attacks or stroke. Everything heart-related. So she's, like, extremely conscious. It's a tough word. Conscious about her heart. Dying of a heart attack. She's already outlived her mom. She's at the age. She's already, like, beat her mom by about 5 years because her mom died 5 years ago from her. So she's very, very conscious of this. So if you think about that, like how that's affecting her day-to-day life, like she wants to get excited. She wants to get fired up. She wants to go roo, rah, rah, rah when there's a Packer touchdown. But she's kind of like in the back of her mind, she's like, I don't know. So you ask her, let's say her name is Susie. Susie, so if all this did was made you enjoy your Packer games a little bit more, you didn't have to worry that back in your mind, would that be worth it to you? And she says, yes. Great. When do you want to start enjoying those benefits? And she's like, well, right now. Boom. All right. Sounds like you're ready to get going. Let's get you signed up here. Go over here. At that point, you just direct them. You just be quiet and just direct them where they need to go or take that order down. Great. We'll send that out to you. What's your best address? Okay. Does this make sense? Does this help? Figure out what's really, really important to them. What is the max amount? And so when you ask them questions about being 50 pounds down, saying like, what are you doing with that 50 pounds? Are you going out playing with your kids? If they say anything having to do with pain, you just keep asking questions about that pain. Like what else is that? What else is that pain keeping you from? For guys, it seems to be golf a lot. Like it's affecting their golf game. They aren't able to get out. Like they're home. They're afraid to go outside. We're looking at specific what's important to them. Family, like I talked to you about my client today. Like she's got daughters and granddaughters of hers, and so playing with their grandkids. I know this feels like real basic stuff, but somehow we just get lost in the details. We get lost in the weeds. Like this could actually drive your entire presentation. If they just watched your video, you direct them to the video, and they liked all your lead up to the videos, all your contents, all your things, and they like you as a person, and you finally got them you sent them a presentation video, you sent them some sort of video that they watched, or maybe you just gave the presentation at the end. This concept right here just drove your entire quote-unquote closing at that point. You're golden. You're golden. Because this right here has to incorporate one of the most important parts of the selling process, and that is listening, asking questions and listening. And we want to, even in the prospecting part, like we want to talk. We just want to talk about the product. We want to talk about ourselves and our experience on the product. And especially in the prospecting part, I want to be 95-5. Like you're just asking questions for your 5%, and 95% is you just listening. Yeah. Hey, I think I might have something there to help you out with that. I think I might have you something to help out with your acne, Susie. If I sent you something, would you take a look at it? If I sent you a sample, would you take a look at it? Would you try it? And then you send them the sample, you send them the sizzle, you send them the actual presentation, and then you just follow up. So great, when the next couple days do you think you can watch it? I know we went overboard big time, but I just need you to really, really understand that selling tip right there. Just what's important to them. They got about 2-3 things that's just kind of in the back of their mind at all times. With moms, it's family, it's their kiddos. It's if they're single, it's trying to attract a mate. Why do they want a mate? Going after their interests, going after what's super important to them. If guys, it's always their performance. It's always like, feel like a man. All this type of stuff. And all you're doing, the way I teach you don't really have to worry about this because your entire business is built around what's important to them. Like attracting them from the very first exposure to you like they know. That's the way I kind of teach you over at the freeabmcourse.com. I do believe that is day 3. Day 3, talk about all that. Anyways, does that help? Is that cool? That should help you. Something I wish I would have known. Thank you so much for just. It just makes sense, okay? It's just helpful out, and it's just like I got all sorts of training series all around about you for the selling part. This is just like one little aspect of it, but it's a biggie. It's a biggie. What movie was that? Glorious Bastards. Ooh, yeah, it's a biggie. Yeah, was that Glorious Bastards? When the German guy, he was trying to say bingo. It's a biggie. And Brad Pitt's like, I think you mean bingo? Oh, okay, it's a bingo. And Brad Pitt's like, yeah, close enough. That's what this one is. This one is a biggie. This one here is a biggie. I would just practice that. If you don't have the time to jump into courses, jump into books and practice, and you just want reps at the game, but you're here's another huge tip for you. Just get reps in the game. Just get practice going over this. Just get practice asking them questions. Get them on a presentation. Say, I think I have something. Ask them here, 4-step process, okay? Number 1, ask them questions about their pain. Yeah, that sounds like you're awful. If I sent you something, this is step 2, would you take a look at it? Send them the sizzle video. Number 3 is follow up. Sizzle video, sample, actual presentation, sitting them down. Some sort of, they call it third-party tool some sort of like webinar, some sort of online seminar that you recorded or your upline recorded. Send that to them. Said, if I sent it to you, would you take a look? And they're like, yes. Great. When in the next couple, this does apply to the recruiting side and the money side as well. I want you to go through the product first. Long story there. So that's why we're talking mainly about the product. Talking to people and attracting people and selling people on money-making opportunities, it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different kind of person. And to be honest with you, your people that are going to be the best are on the fans of the product first. They usually end up being the best. Okay, so that's your step 3. There's just follow up. You just kind of say, okay, when in the next couple of days would you be able to take it? When do you think you could take a look at it? When in the next couple of days would you take a look at it? And they're like, oh, I'll probably get off of work about 5 tomorrow, so I'll probably just watch it and I get home 5. So great. So if I call you at 5:30, will that give you enough time to watch it? And like, yeah, sure. Great. So I'll call you at 5:30. See what you liked about it. And we'll go from there. And then from there, it's up to you now to follow up. And then from there, if you don't know this person's brand new, then that presentation after that point, and that follow up is how you can talk about the presentation. But I would rather, if they're brand new, I'd rather you just gather information about them. Just ask questions about them, find out what they're all into, find out all about them, what's important to them, what do they do. Hey, what'd you do last week? Oh, I watched the CMT Awards. Oh, so you like country music? Yeah. You can don't go overboard with the rapport building, though. It's like, nobody really cares about you, because the rapport building, it's very dangerous territory for you to start talking about yourself. Oh, yeah, that reminds me of my kids that did this and this and this, and then this. And when we're a little bit nervous, our default setting when we're going into this quote-unquote selling presentation, this closing presentation, this is why I want you to address the fear side, because you can learn all these steps here, but fear will just prevent you from even putting yourself in that situation. Okay? So I do recommend you. I want you to just do this just to get reps. Who cares whether you get sign-ups or not? Just do this, just get reps in the game. Just learning through failure, learning through trial and error. Just kind of assume hey, I'm going to get no's. This is why I want you to really practice on your cold market. Total strangers, people you don't even know. Call them up on the phone. Just go through, set a number, let's say 20 for this month. If you just average one of these a day, you'd be golden. Wow, you'd be golden. And you just say 20, and I'm just gonna get 20 no's this month. That's a very, very low something offer. I don't know, what do you call it? Low expectation of yourself. But hey, if you just set aside saying, I'm just gonna get these 20, I'm just gonna get these no's, and great book there, Go for No. Fabulous book, highly recommend that one. But if you just say, I don't really care if I get a yes or no, I'm not attached to the outcome, I'm just here to get practice. This is literally like your practice, like you're at softball, swinging the ball. Shoo, shoo. Does the person that's on deck, let's go to softball example here, they're warming up, and so now we got Sally on deck. Sally's got her softball bat. She's just there, and she's just kind of going through the routines, whoo, whoo. She's winding up and takes a little step into that swing, and whoo. She's just practicing. Is in the back of Sally's mind when she's practicing, she's like, oh, I just failed. No, she's just practicing her swings. She's just going through the motions. It's so crazy. That's all you're doing. Just attach these 20 here to it. Don't say, oh, I got to get this yes, otherwise I'm going to not make rent this month. Just I'm just here to get experience. Just here to get reps. That's all it is. And just go for it. You might end up with a couple sales at the end, and you're like, oh, cool, I got some sales. Consider those sales as a bonus. Consider the default being a no. Don't get lost in the follow-up, and, I got to follow up, and I got to do this, or how many dates I follow up, what should I hit them with, Just say, nope, I got the no. Cool, moving on. Got the no, moving on. Boom. So talked to you a lot today, Misfit. I love you. I heart your face. Thank you so much for being great. Thank you so much for feeling that fear. And go ahead and kicking that fear in the balls and doing it anyways. Love you so much for it. Go with the greatness of the awesomeness that you are. Keep changing those lives. Keep helping up those people. Talk to you next time. Love you lots more later. Love your face lots more later. Mwah. So, Mom Warrior, did you like this? Was that pretty cool stuff? Did you learn something really good? I know, right? I know, pretty awesome stuff. So I'm going to give you a quick little marketing lesson here. Here. I don't know what accent that was. Maybe a nice little, I think it's French, right? French little accent. Nice little marketing lesson here. So what you just partook on, think of it as like, I call it the grocery store lady, the GSL formula equation. Beautiful, beautiful. It's worked since the beginning of time. Tale as old as time. So what you do is you go up to the grocery store lady, and she gives you a sample of like pizza. And she goes, here you go, young lady, have a slice of pizza. And you're like, wow, that's really good pizza. And she goes like, yeah, they're on sale, $5.99, right? Only 50 left. And you're like, I want it. And you go ahead and you buy it. None of that happened unless that little slice of pizza was again. Well, Mom, where you just engaged yourself, you just downloaded, you just into your brain, you just digested my little slice of the sample for you. If you thought that was good, wait till you see what's waiting for you next. Go to the misfitmomwarrior.com/Katniss, and it puts with the training you just went through, it puts that on steroids and blows your world up, blows your entire business up. I give you about 40 marketing degrees in 5 days. I condense about 20 years of marketing lessons and trials and tribulations. Okay, it's only like 2 years I've been in this business, but I pulled it from people that were in business for like 20 years and making mistakes, and I just show you how to do it best. And go there and have Adder totally free, a little 5-day little mini course totally free. And get your life redone, get your MLM business redone. Basically, the essence of it, Mom, is how to turn strangers into buyers and stop bugging your friends and family and how to do about it. For a profession that has marketing half their title, aka network marketing, aka multi-level marketing, they teach you crap about marketing. Crap! At least the ones that I've been a part of, at least the ones that I witnessed, and even the learnings I've done. Oh yeah, I'm done talking. You got some going to that website to do and get your life worked awesome and stop this stress about who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to give my pitch to? I'll show you how to do all that there. misfitmomwarrior.com/Katniss. Oh, it's in the show notes too. Duh. Go there, have at her, get your life redone. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being great. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being the light upon the world and letting your greatness shine and fly every single day and impacting those lives that you are. You're meant for greatness, Mom. My job to help pull it out. Thank you for being great and beautiful and encourageable and brave as well. And all those. I just heart you in your face and your soul so much. Bye for now. Mwah.